executive of a local authority, as well as someone who's got an extensive background in education, I'm extremely grateful to have this opportunity to share the work that we're doing in Doncaster to transform the delivery of education skills as a key driver for our borough strategy. And I very much welcome the Minister's engagement with suggestions for how government can support this. As you're aware, we're working alongside partners to produce a report on place-based transformation of lifelong learning. And certainly as the Chief Executive and convener of the Place in Doncaster, I fundamentally believe that all action should be socially embedded and socially situated. We all have a sense of identity. We all have a sense of origin, and we certainly all feel a sense of belonging. And our new borough strategy has as its mission, thriving people, places. And central to human thriving and flourishing is lifelong education and learning. And one of my favourite quotes is by Václav Havel. He says, "Education is the ability to perceive the hidden connections between phenomena." Viewing any local education system as a complex adaptive system, revealing the hidden connections and building greater connectivity have been fundamental organising principles for me in adopting a collaborative approach here in Doncaster. This has been our developing story for the past 6 years. And our story, of course, begins with a legacy as a post-industrial borough. And the challenges are well known. They're long-standing and have been exacerbated by the pandemic. And as a borough, we're one of the 20 most deprived areas in England, with 1 in 4 children living in low-income families. And consequently, our health outcomes are impacted. We don't live as long as we should. And we live more of our years with disability and illness than our more affluent counterparts. So too, our educational outcomes, with a number of our most deprived areas being in the 10% of most deprived nationally in terms of education and skills measures. So Doncaster has become a place of low skills and low pay. And the industries the place attracts often exploit this. Social mobility is low and people feel trapped in a cycle of hard work for little reward, often in insecure environments. However, things are on the up, and Team Doncaster has worked together effectively in recent years to deliver a number of achievements and improvements. And notably, since we published our inclusive growth strategy in 2018, we've seen some significant achievements. In just 5 years, our economy had grown by 30%, with an increase in business starts, a growth in both private and public sector jobs, and an increase in house building and affordability. And partnership collaboration is a key strength of this place. Together, we have formed the Doncaster Promise Compact between local businesses and education providers, a dedicated strategic approach to working with anchor institutions and to community wealth building. And further to this, in 2016, I invited an independent panel of experts to review our education system. The panel laid out 30 recommendations in their One Doncaster report, all of which we adopted. We now have a developing university city agenda with 4 centres of excellence tied to local industry specialisms, an established hybrid model of post-16 education that includes high quality specialist provision, such as the National College for Advanced Transport and Infrastructure, and a successful inclusion programme, which has seen us opening up the first UK big picture learning school, and high quality one-to-one and online all age careers, information, advice and guidance support. And as well as this, of course, our work to transform outcomes for disadvantaged pupils through a DFE funded social mobility opportunity area programme. So much has been done, but there's much more to do. And despite these improvements, as a place, Doncaster still lacks opportunity. It has almost all of the ingredients, however, for success, but the traditional recipe isn't working for us. Many of our learners are disengaged with traditional academic forms of learning, and many are not even acquiring NVQ level and other qualifications. And there's a large gap to the national averages at levels 3 and 4, and a high proportion of residents have no formal qualifications at all. Employers report that young people lack the higher level and technical skills alongside the broader essential life skills needed in the modern workplace. And this skills gap is exacerbated by an exodus of young people who leave Doncaster in search of higher education and higher skilled and higher paid employment. All of this is indicative of a low skills equilibrium. Therefore, over the past 18 months, we've been working with key partners to develop an ambitious 10-year education and skills strategy that will bring about a paradigm shift in the way we deliver education. Our vision is to achieve equitable and inclusive lifelong learning that empowers people to fulfill their potential and thrive in life and work. To achieve this, we've identified 5 priority areas to drive change within the existing system. However, we're also committed to taking a regenerative whole systems, whole place and whole life approach to lifelong learning. And this requires systemic and cultural change. And this is why we've been working with Michael Stevenson from the OECD. Together, we shaped a blueprint for the future. We call this the Talent and Innovation Ecosystem Model, or TIE for short. The TIE is deeply rooted in place. It's centered on a set of key industry specialisms and harnesses the strengths of our local assets. It recognizes the needs of residents and of local employers, which is crucial for us to improve our economic landscape. It attracts new sectors that offer quality jobs and to tackle the ongoing exodus of young and talented people. It takes a more vocational, innovative and problem-based approach to learning for people of all ages and backgrounds. And it places equal value on the development of technical, social emotional skills alongside academic knowledge. And it brings together stakeholders to collaborate on aligned learning with real-world design and commercial challenges. This education to employment learning approach will create new learning pathways to more sustainable careers and help fill key skill gaps, opening up across not just the key sectors locally, but in the national economy as well. It also draws on local expertise across the system to provide learning and assessment that has real currency with employers. TIE also supports more informal learning through online or badged certificate learning, with the huge potential to kickstart new skills, career choices, or indeed to cultivate unrecognised talent. And there are a number of cross-cutting TIE initiatives, which I believe will have a transformative effect on the people and the place. And these include, first, a programme to develop a Doncaster curriculum, spanning across stages and ages, developed in partnership with employers. This would have an associated new set of credentials and an increased focus on formative assessment. In other words, assessment for learning rather than assessment of learning. Second, a programme of engagement facilitated by a Doncaster Centre for Applied Learning that is sponsored by local businesses. This would accredit qualifications and communicate the learning offer. Third, a programme to engage with local employers and wider partners to identify learning purposes, setting out what social, emotional skills and industry-specific competencies are needed. And for this to occur, it's crucial to see skills for work and life as the portable currency or human capital in the system. This is the adaptive human potential we want to see flourish in our place to cope with the increasingly complex challenges and wicked problems that exist out there.